This is Wolf Phototech coming directly to you through the power of the internet, and I have a few rumors and some legitimate news. Uh, the first and foremost I will cover is a bit of an old one, but not super old. It was just kind of off the side. Uh, this was actually reported by Squishy Turtle, which apparently is a part of the International Business Times. I'm not. For me, the term the brand International Business Times is kind of generic, and I'm not terribly familiar, but it does pop up here and there, and I don't have very warm feelings about the whole website. But they basically say that the Nintendo NX will be unveiled October 21st. I've already talked about this before, hypothetically, that it's most likely going to be October 21st, due to the fact that also happens to be the first. That happens to be the first day the Nintendo ever had the Nintendo Direct program on, and B, it would also be just before the Nintendo Investors Meeting on the 26th. In fact, it's the 5th anniversary. I have it down in my notes. However, there is something a little extra with this. According to Squishy Turtle / International Business Times, the Nintendo NX will be unveiled, and then Nintendo will pull a Sega and say, "This is the Nintendo NX, and you can go to the store right now and get it." So, yeah, that's if Nintendo pulls that, that'd be like just insanity right there. That's just gonna throw everything up in the air, or in the video game industry. It's like we thought it was gonna be March. It turns out it's October 21st. Uh, and now that is literally the bit of information, and then they go into a series in the article. They went into a whole bunch of analysis, like rumors around Beyond Good and Evil 2, but I'm not going to talk about that because that's already been covered. Everyone knows that Beyond Good and Evil 2 has been rumored for the Nintendo NX, and it's either been in development for a long time, or, as Ubisoft has stated, has just entered development. There could be a little tricky something there, but yes. Let's stop and think about that. Uh, Nintendo will announce the Nintendo NX in the Nintendo Direct on October 21st, and then tell everyone they can go to the store and get one. Does that sound like something Nintendo would do? Now, first and foremost, Nintendo has done that several times with video games, mostly eShop stuff, and DLC. It could be something Nintendo had up its sleeves. Nintendo could have just simply given us the false promise or false concept of March, them releasing it in March, but it actually turns out it's actually going to come out in October 21st, and there's a bunch of games for it. Considering that was a Sega move, and Sega did that a few times, particularly with the Sega Saturn, and it didn't quite work out too well. However, according to other bits of information in the bits of news and rumors, that Nintendo actually consulted with everyone else before coming up with this idea, or actually consulted with everyone. So, Nintendo, I could see potentially, you know how Arlo, the Blue Muppet, uh, did a really wonderful video some time back about talking about how Nintendo likes to left field people. They're the masters of left field. When you expect them to go from the left field, they come out of somewhere else. They are masters of being 2 steps ahead of you and doing crazy things. And then when you think they are going to do a crazy thing, they do something completely pedestrian. Uh, Arlo used the example of when Nintendo entered mobile, and everyone immediately thought, Mario. Oh, okay, Nintendo's obviously gonna do Mario. It's gonna obviously do a Mario Runner game. Yeah, that is a very good thing. And then Nintendo announces Miitomo, and it's like, okay. And then Pokemon Go comes out. Okay, that is something else different. What other crazy thing Nintendo will do? Then Nintendo announces a short time back at the Apple event, Mario Runner, which is literally the first thing everyone thought of when Nintendo would go into. So Nintendo likes to throw people off. So this is actually a insane rumor that actually has some validity simply on the fact that Nintendo is prone to doing crazy things all of a sudden, and they like to screw with everyone. They really like to screw with people. Uh, but at the same time, is Nintendo going to launch a platform out of nowhere? No, this is just one of those crazy things that, by the way, this is a rumor, and that is basically what it is. And International Business Times via Squishy Turtle. Okay, but then again, there's Eurogamer and their rumor, which they put a lot of effort behind, but then kind of all the rumors built on that, and then proof information came up at like, huh? Okay. Uh, the thing was the Acon Morpheus 300 or the X300. So Nintendo likes to screw with people. International Business Times sounds legitimate. It's a little side division they have with called Squishy Turtle that reported this. However, this could just be them trying to get clicks to their website. So I'm not going to spend too much more time on that. It's just one of those tiny little rumors, little bitoids. And what I said about bitoids is that most Nintendo rumors that are big and very complicated, eventually get proven wrong. It's the tiny little ones that get proven right. And this is a tiny little rumor. It's just simply stating, hey, it's going to be revealed October 21st in a Nintendo Direct on the 5th anniversary of the first Nintendo Direct, and it's going to be in the stores the same day. That's basically the rumor. It's like 1, 2, 3, done. So there we go. It's creepy, isn't it? Show all the gum. Show all the gum. Second story. This is an actual news story. This is not a rumor. This is actual fact. This has been brought up on various past few days. This has been brought up on various pages, Pokemon fan pages and stuff like that. That Pokemon Sun and Moon will take up each copy of the game. If you were to digitally download the game, will take up 3.2 gigabytes of space. That equals 26,215 blocks. Good thing I have a 32 gigabyte memory card in my 3DS. However, as I've stated many times before, I'm pro physical media, and I'm not going to download it, so yeah, all that extra empty space in my 3DS is not going to get used. I'm gonna get Sun version. My buddy and my brother's gonna get Moon. Okay. I might do a review of it, but then there it is. What made this little thing interesting is that Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire each take up only 1.8 gigabytes. And by the way, the special demo for Pokemon Sun and Moon is only 400 megabytes, but there you go. So, Pokemon Sun and Moon, or just one of those games of that duel, both of them are 3.2 each, is approximately twice that of Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. And then people are like, how could this be? Well, obviously they are adding 50 to 150 Pokemon to the game. All the information from past games move forward, so that accounts for a few more gigabytes. So if it was you just added 150 Pokemon to Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, you could probably add a 0.1 onto there easily. Then you add in the ride Pokemon and the camera feature and the trainer plaza and all those little fun things, and you bump it up to like a solid 2 gigabytes, 2.2, 2.25. I could feasibly work it up with what has been announced all the way up to 2.2, 2.5, 2.75, but 3.2. Okay, there's clearly more to this game. And it may be feasible that all original 151, or all original 151, has a whole bunch of new stuff added in, all new forms like Alolan Meow, Alolan Growlithe, Alolan Onix, all that stuff. But there could also be a few more things tossed in. Now, from looking at Pokemon Sun and Moon, the game comes across not as a old style route-oriented Pokemon game. It's not like old Red, Blue, Gold, Ruby, Sapphire, Pearl, Diamond, Black, White, where there's those standard routes. I'm gonna jump cut. I just got done with my jump cut. What I'm talking about in route structure is I got an old player's guide. How many YouTubers have old player's guides? I mean, like, this is an old one. This is what I'm talking about route structure. See, there's all this dead space in here. Now, what I am thinking is happening with Pokemon Ruby, Pokemon Sun and Moon, is that the world, all those dead spaces, are going to have stuff in them. The world is going to be more fleshed out. There's not going to be a lot of dead spaces. It's going to be more like a legend. Well, this is actually a pretty bad example for it, because this is basically Pokemon in but it's going to be more Zelda-like. Yeah, I happen to have a collector's edition of Spirit Tracks Player's Guide. But the world is going to be more fleshed out. It's not going to just be you go down Route 1, you don't go down to Route 2, Route 3. There's going to be routes, but there's going to be areas between the routes, and the areas are going to expand out. That's the way the game looks. That the world is a complete world. You may actually be able to swim between islands and all the dead gaps and everything. So, the game looks actually quite large, and there may actually be a few more features thrown in as well. Maybe a larger number of Pokemon. The island trials may actually be taking up a substantially larger portion of the game, as there may be more than only just a few, but maybe ones for every type of Pokemon. And then there's a potentiality that was brought up by various other YouTubers that there may actually be another region somewhere, say like Kanto, where you go over there, like in gold and silver, and have fun there. Maybe it's unlocked if you happen to have a digital copy of Pokemon Red and Blue on your 3DS when you have Sun and Moon. Which means I need to download red version, red version or yellow version for on my 3DS. I don't download very many games. I like to have physical games. I'm a physical media kind of person. So that is the end of the second video. And entering is the third story. The third story has been just floating around for a few days, and I just had like a message pop up, so I just wanted to get that out of the way. But this has been floating around a few days, and I basically been like writing it down here and there, and then playing Pokemon Shuffle, and then playing a little Splatoon, and doing my cleaning the kitty boxes. Orange likes a clean litter box. Please consider subscribing and liking. If not for me, for Orange. He's that orange baby. But this rumor, getting back to the story, the third one, is that you shed Orange. Okay. This third story is a rumor that I was going to cover, and as I said, I kind of like didn't move it quickly enough. And apparently, a Super Metal Dave caught up to me and covered this story just a few minutes ago, so I might as well get my butt in gear. There's this rumor that popped up that is stipulated that it came from a large retail partner, like GameStop, Toys R Us, Walmart. That it's that the Nintendo NX will launch with at least 4 games. One of them will be a Mario game. We already know that there will be a Zelda game. And this rumor does not specify whether these 4 games will be first party or third party, but the wording is interesting in itself. This is something kind of like glossed over by other people, but I will start from the top and I'll go down and I'll get to the 4 games. First and foremost, under the marketing category, it says on the box, interact with your games on the go. Now, various people have thought something along, and I will just go and throw directly at that, of something like a VMU, where you had potentially a portable device that comes with your Nintendo NX console, and you could play a limited version of the game on that. It puts it on there, and you take it with you, or you put the cartridge into the portable unit, and you take it with you. There may be a limited version of this game, or some mini games, or like a beefed up VMU or something like that, or like something similar to a 3DS. But the wording is interact with your games on the go. Some people try to read too much into this phrasing. It could just simply be you're playing your games on the go, or it could be you are playing mini games or a portion of the game on the go on a basic system, and then when you get home, you can download that information back into your main home console NX, and then take all the items that you acquired or experienced and add it to your character on the system. So there we go. The second bullet point in the marketing category is strong co-branding effort with Mario launch title on many posters. Co-branding, as in, let me think here. It could be something like Nintendo and Walmart working together to bring you best value or something like that. Or get your Nintendo NX goodies at GameStop or something like that. That's kind of in the line of what I'm thinking of co-branding. So, and obviously Mario will be on the poster like a pinup girl. Buy this game at the GameStop. So, uh, it's at me, at Mario. You need to buy some more Nintendo games, or we go out of business. Actually, I know how some Nintendo fans, when someone makes a statement referencing Nintendo potentially going out of business, even if it's a lighthearted joke, they kind of freak out. Nintendo will never go out of business. I'm sorry. Okay. Uh, the third bullet point under the marketing category is the console is currently set to launch with 4 titles on deck. Okay, currently set to launch with 4 titles on deck. Is like the poop deck or the what? Is the deck like made out of cedar or something? No, it's just the term deck is, I'm making fun of the term deck, the word deck here. The deck has often been used in video game console lingo as the console itself. Many video game systems are often referred to, the physical console itself is often referred to as the power deck or something like that, particularly by Nintendo. So this is just a weird little interesting little choice of word that potentially could be turned into, there's going to be 4 games on the system when it releases. So when you buy the system, you already have 4 games on the system to play. This could be just simply stating that it'll be on the deck, as in like the sales room floor. You know, you go up to the display and there will be 4 Nintendo games immediately for the system. And the fact that this rumor stipulates that there's 4 titles for the system at launch. This is actually a fairly small number, but this is actually, say, like in line with the NES and the Super NES and the N64, and the GameCube had a lot more, but no, something else. Nintendo usually only has like anywhere from 2 to 9 games for a system on launch day. Personally, I kind of don't like that, but it gives you an opportunity to buy all the games and then like play them, and then a few days later you buy more games and then come out and you move on from there. But it's believed by many YouTubers and many people reading this rumor that it, and including me, that the 4 games are the 4 Nintendo games, are 4 first-party or second-party Nintendo games that are confirmed for launch. So it's a Mario game, it's a Zelda game, and 2 others. There's rumors that there's going to be an F-Zero game at launch. Okay. That's another story. And that's the end of that story. Uh, I will go and try to hunt that detail down and give more details on that. But there. Uh, the next bullet point in the marketing category is that stores should be receiving Nintendo NX demo kits or demo units, not demo, demo kits, demo units around February. So it could be like January or March, or plus February or minus February, or plus or minus January, February, March. If you're not getting it, so I'm trying to be around February here, as in like there's 3 different parallel universes where the demo kits get to the stores in plus January, in Dimension 22B, and in 33 EC it shows up in March. So but anyways, it's believed, according to this rumor, that the demo kits should arrive in February, sometime in February, no specific date. Another bullet point in this will be the 5th bullet point in the marketing category, is that the base price point seems to be sitting around $29.99. $299.99. That is the base unit price, US dollars. That should be something like $289 in British pounds, or 299 euros, right in there. I don't have the conversion for Japanese yuan, but I don't speak Japanese, and I don't have very many people that show up on my channel that speak Japanese. Interestingly enough, the past 7 days, the #1 demographic that have been showing up on my videos are people from the Dominican Republic. So, the #1 people that have been seeing my videos are from the Dominican Republic. There you go. Now we move on to, well, wait, I back up, because there's more to this. I'm going to hit this point again. The price point, $299 for the base unit, seems to be Nintendo's standard favorite price point. Nintendo likes to be around that $299, $399 range with their systems. They don't like to be much higher than that. Nintendo likes to deliver a game system at an affordable price point. It's not quite to the same point as what Mr. Yamanashi did with Mr. GameCube. I love you. Ooh. With the GameCube, which was to knock it down to $99. But that was an awesome idea, and it worked to some extent, but it wasn't the best. Anyways, Nintendo likes to keep their systems prices fairly cheap. Now we will move on to the next category. Bundles. And I'm just going to shoot through these. The Nintendo NX is currently set to have a bundle option. I don't know if this bundle option is considered what Electronic Boutique and GameStop like to do. Is like take the system and put a bunch of crappy games on top of it, and then sell it to you for another $200 over the price, with crappy games you don't want to buy on launch day. They do that kind of thing. They clearly figure out which ones they're not going to sell, which ones are not going to sell, and then bundle those in with a special holiday bundle series or something like that, or a launch day bundle. They like to do crap like that. Contents of the bundle are currently not known. However, the bundle is currently sitting. I don't know why it's sitting. It should get up and walk around a little more. But but it's currently sitting at $3.99.99, which is $3.89 in British pounds and $3.99 in euros. This is a simple just adding 100 on, and many people thought about, hey, there could be a bigger hard drive in the system. There could be a game packed in with it. There could be a handy dandy plastic stand. This is actually, by the way, for my Wii U, and I only ever use it as a camera holder. Because I'm not that kind of person who just sets my gamepad down. I put it on the charging cradle while I'm holding it. It's one of those two things. That fly is annoying as heck. But personally, there could potentially be a bundle. It could have it could be a Legend of Zelda one. There could be a Mario bundle, and they could come with an amiibo with each other, and it could have a slightly larger hard drive and a few other things, and that'd be it. Now on to the next category. This one is called packaging. Oh dear. They have to package everything up so very nicely. The packaging for the Nintendo NX will be slightly larger than the Wii U packaging. This is the box for the Wii U. It's a little bit inside my shoulders. It's going to be slightly larger, so it could be that much larger. But anyways, it could be slightly larger than this Wii U box. Now, think about this here for a moment. If this was a portable system, why would it be in a box this big? Because this is the box for a Nintendo 3DS. Size comparison. There's either if this is reportedly a system that is a portable system, it would be closer to this size than that size. Hell, it could be like this size. This is still bigger than this. You could put a large gamepad in here, a charger, and oh yeah, you say that the Nintendo NX is just a system. There's the pad right there. You put it in there. You put the charger there. You put the dock station right there. You have enough room in a box this big to put all those things. Think about that. Little GameCube box. Smaller than Wii U box. This rumor stipulates that it's bigger than this. It is slightly bigger than this. Now, here's a question. By the way, I got my Wii box here. Are they talking about the bundle size box or the regular box? The regular size box. Think about that. Because the whole stipulation on that is if it is the size slightly bigger than this box or This box, that would put it in the size range of a PS3 box. I don't have my PS3 down. It would be in the size range of a PS3 box or an Xbox One box. That is an awful lot of box to put a portable system and a little dock and a charger in. Unless the handheld is this big. So it will be the Nintendo Wii U Gamepad 2.0 extra large, which is not portable unless you carry around a backpack. So that is just something like, oh, wait a minute right there. Slightly larger than the Wii U's packaging. Which box, and not to mention, consider that both boxes are actually pretty big, and the PlayStation 3 box, the PlayStation 4 box is a little bit bigger than the this white Wii U box. So this is a little large to put a portable console in, even if you include a dock and a power brick to charge it with. Think about it. That's one of those interesting details in this rumor. This kind of like, okay, is fly. This rumor brings up something really interesting around the size of the box. Also, the second bullet point on the packaging category is relatively clean and simple, and is similar to the Wii U in terms of packaging design. It's a simple design, which is basically the same thought plane as the Nintendo Wii box, Wii U box, the Wii box. They're all simple and clean, basic information, very minimalist. Nintendo is clearly the Apple of Japan. They like their design. They like it simple. They like it clean. They don't want to overclutter you with tons and tons of little things. This is probably the busiest box there is in graphics, and it's just very clean and simple, which is not like the PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, Xbox box. This even includes the GameCube box. It's actually a dirt simple box with just a few games on the back. But Nintendo clearly has a liking for simple designs on their simple design boxes that easily customize to each. I would show you more boxes, but I had to dig them down and dust them off. Okay. The packaging still, the third, actually the fourth, that would be the fourth, but the third point on the packaging category is that the packaging still says Nintendo, still says NX. It is not clear that this is a placeholder or the final name of the system. Also note that there was a rumor that kind of trickled around and bounced here and there, that the Nintendo NX would be named Nintendo Focus. But that rumor kind of died out pretty quickly. But I just want to need to bring it back up, you know. What happens if the Nintendo NX turns out to be Nintendo Focus? Okay. The fourth area on this is that this is actually third, but the fourth, I just got this out of order here. The color scheme of the packaging is white and blue compared to the Wii U's blue and black. Actually, the Wii brand of boxes, it's pretty much white and gray. not blue and black. This is white and gray. There's black on that, but largely depends on whether it's the deluxe or the standard. The deluxe systems had black boxes in black and blue, and the bases had white and gray, but the deluxes in the custom boxes have white and gray. Just picking at things, pull something out. Hopefully not a fingernail. The final point, well, another point here on the packaging category is that the areas of the packaging would be visually depicting the hardware were blurred and redacted by Nintendo in an attempt to keep it hidden. Blurred is, we obviously know blurred, but redacted is basically where they black out a line. So whatever images are on the box of like games and stuff like that are probably blurred or distorted or pixelated out of order, and the words are probably just blacked out lines. And that's probably what it means, and that makes a lot of sense because they don't want to give away too much information too quickly, because stuff like this leaks out of major retailers. That's how we supposedly got this information, so there is all kinds of potentiality in this. Now on to the final category of the video, is that the features and specs of the system. Now, the first point in this one is that the games will be on cartridges. That is repeated in many rumors. It comes up again in this one. And it's also midnight. Now, in the original version of this report on Reddit, by the way, this is actually from Reddit, this whole rumor, there was more information that was included, and under the features and specs category, listed under the games will be on cartridges, there was a long explanation of the technology of the cartridges, and according to the moderator, the person that gave this information, this was actually compiled from multiple sources. This information was proven either unverified or can't be verified. The person that gave this information under the cartridge category, I'm going to leave the link to the Reddit page so you can actually look at it. It's just scratched out, talking about the size of the cartridges, the exact technology, a little bit of compressing. This was just redacted out because apparently that the information was not good enough and they couldn't verify it, and what parts of it they also found were false. So there you go. The second bullet point, this is actually officially the part of the verified part of the rumor, is it'll have 4K streaming. This is specifically for like Hulu Plus and Netflix and YouTube and all that other stuff. Crunchyroll, 4K modes. This will not be used on gameplay. Obviously, because 4K is really hard for even PCs, high-end PCs, to do, and all the PC gamers talking about 4K this and 4K that. Your boxes have to be insanely expensive to do 4K, even on ultra settings. And I don't really care about 4K. Give me 60 frames per second. Give me 90 frames per second. I don't care if it's 720p or 1080p. I rather have the extra frames per second. Now, this is the final point, bam, of this rumor. The main home console portion of the system on TV will run at 1080p, 60 frames per second, and the terminology, will be specifically stated in terminology by the marketing teams. Nintendo is going to promote that this system can do 1080p, 60 frames per second. As I said before, I prefer more frames per second than resolution. So the fact that it's 1080p, no problem. That is the core of TVs right now. Very few TVs are 4K. 4K, 2K. Unless you have a 70-inch TV and you sit within 3 feet of it, 4K is a waste of money for the most part. If you really want a quality image, I'm not joking, focus on a TV that has HDR. You want it better. HDR will do more for the TV than going from 1080p to 4K. Not to mention the content out there for 4K is very weak, and many of the stuff that is labeled as 4K is actually not 4K. So it's upscaled. It's taken from 720p or 1080p and have been upscaled to 4K. And as you upscale from lower resolutions to higher resolutions, the quality is nowhere near what it would be if it was originally shot in 4K and presented in 4K. It's not even good enough. It was not even the same level of difference quality if it was 2K to 4K. Lower the base resolution, more work has to be done. It's never going to be quite the same. It's just a cheat. Same thing with the PlayStation 4 Pro. It's just faking 4K. It's not doing real 4K. Now, this also states that there's unconfirmed rumblings of the fact that the handheld device will do 90p. That's the resolution. 90 resolution progressive. Okay. The fact that they say there is unconfirmed rumblings that 90p for the infamous hybrid part of the device, which is weird because hybrid. The term hybrid is just, there is a console portion, there's a handheld portion. If a handheld system is console powerful as a console, it does not necessarily mean that it's a home console handheld hybrid. It just means it's a ridiculously powerful handheld that you can plug into a TV. I don't know. I think people are in love with the term hybrid. And then they're just like working it into all the rumors because it seems to get at a lot of crazy traction. Now, what I can tell you about this rumor is, I'll go back to the very first rumor. I'm not going to cover the second story because the second story is actual fact about Pokemon Sun and Moon being 3.2 gigabytes. But the first rumor talking about Nintendo surprising people with October 21st as the reveal and launch, that is a really small rumor. It is actually believable because it is really small. It's a simple little bit of information, like you could pick it up if you happen to be working in those circles and then drop it into the public eye, and it's really easy to walk away and not get caught, and it's not overly detail specific. It kind of falls under the Bitoid rule of rumors. Nintendo likes to surprise people. The rumor that the Nintendo NX has all this, it's $299, it's $399 in a bundle, it's co-branding effort. Uh, First and foremost, interact with your games on the go. Uh, that is an interesting line. That is highly probable. That goes in the line with the whole general theory of what the Nintendo NX will be, and what has been hinted at by the CEO of Game Freak, the CEO of Pokemon Company, and a few other people. Strong co-branding effort that is just happens everywhere. Sony does that with Taco Bell. There's Microsoft does that with Mountain Dew, with Halo. It's just one of those things that's ubiquitous. It's easy tossing. The console is currently set to launch with 4 titles. You know what? That is a safe bet. The system is going to release with 4 or more titles. It's no points there. The store should receive demo units by February. Well, yeah, it should be February or January that they receive demo units if the system is releasing in March. If the system is releasing in March, we consider the first rumor not true. This rumor is based on the concept that March is the release date. February would be a safe bet. The prices $299 and $399 on the bundle are safe bets. That is basically just easy target for people who want to make rumors that look good. Okay, the packaging will be slightly larger than the Wii U's packaging. Slightly larger, equal size. Which Wii U packaging? Yet again, that is just all easy territory. If it's a home console that happens to have a portable device that connects to it, say like a Wii U 2.0, where you have the home system, but the gamepad has enough processing power that it actually can be taken on a go and played with, and there's a possibility that Nintendo, the Wii U, there will be a new version of basically the Wii U that uses cartridges. It won't be called the Wii U because the Wii brand has been burned into the ground. Or it could be just Nintendo trolling the crap out of us, and they could just re-release the system as the Super Wii U. The Nintendo NX could be turns out to be Super Wii U. But that is actually fairly safe territory. Speculating on colors of box, that could be just like a Rorschach test. There happens to be blue, white, and blue on the box. Half the colors are variants of white and blue. Okay. The package still says NX. However, there's still no indication if this is a placeholder or final name. That is basically, it could say NX or no. The prototype package said NX. This is something else, clearly. This is called the Nintendo Focus, or the Super Wii U. The errors of the hardware package that usually depict the hardware or blurred and redacted. This is just easy. You never see this. This is never going to come to the average consumer unless it just happens to pop up in some basement somewhere, like the Nintendo PlayStation Sony device, hybrid device that was found recently, a few months back. This is easy toss. The 4K streaming and 1080p 60 frames per second, that is all easy territory. This rumor could just be someone who sat down, and looked at the history of Nintendo, and basically this is the rough average territory of all the information moving in this direction, and I'm going to put my rumor in that slice right in there. make it super close to the long-running pattern Nintendo has been doing, and just, yay, my rumor was correct. All praise me. I was an excellent source, and in a few years they end up like Emily Rogers, treated as like a goddess or a god. So there's been multiple bits and pieces of this rumor. All this stuff is like easy, safe guesses. You could just guess this, and this is going to be where Nintendo lands on. There's a few details in here that are a little risky. This may actually be based on actual things. This rumor could actually be based on actual stuff, or this. Well, let's rethink this. It could be an actual leak of someone actually who saw this stuff and reported it to us, or it could be just someone who sat down, thought really hard and good about the history of Nintendo, and kind of just slotted their rumor right into the line and kept it basic details going through. Yet again, we will know when Nintendo reveals the Nintendo NX. Remember that the strongest indicated date of the NX being revealed would be in a Nintendo Direct format. This is the favored rumor right now. And it will be on October 21st, which is basically a few days next week, late next week. This happens to be just before October 26th, which is the Nintendo Investors Meeting. Incidentally, by the way, Nintendo unveiled the Nintendo 3DS during a Nintendo Investors Meeting. So there's the 21st, favored date, maybe any other day, but that happens to be the favored day just because it happens to coincide with the 50th year anniversary of the very first Nintendo Direct. And second possibility is them actually announcing it at the Nintendo Investors Meeting on the 26th. This puts this, if it's the 21st, on the back half of October. Everyone who guessed on the first half of October, which is everyone who actually voted on that little poll I had in the comment section below a few videos back, thought it was going to be early October, and it turns out the rumors are pointing into late October now. Thank you for, by the way, this is the end, and thank you for watching the show. Please consider subscribing to my channel, leaving a like, and if not for me, do it for Orange. If I get enough likes, I will feed him the likes. He always enjoys eating likes. They eat my shields, he eats them. He's a handy-dandy cat on a Zelda adventure. So have a wonderful evening, morning, noon. Wait a minute, that's out of order. Have a happy evening, morning, noon, afternoon, and then back into evening. Okay. It's clearly late. It is currently 12:27 a.m. I'm going to upload this video now. It'll take a while. My internet's slow. Thank you very much for watching my videos. Please consider sharing, voting, and most definitely commenting. If you leave me a dislike, if you leave me dislikes, please tell me why you disliked my video. I really want to know. That way I actually have the potentiality of working on what is not working, if it is not working. which potentially may or not be working. Okay, see you another time. And by the way, this is actually my first ever video that gone over an hour. My first video that's gone over an hour. That's good to know.